Pedal Blade here with another episode of Factorio. I'm going to do this one a little bit different, maybe a little bit piecemeal. I have done a lot of work in the off hours here, mostly setting up the what I'm calling the Rainbow Road. So what I did, it's easier to look at it this way here. You can see I expanded our train station a little bit to bring in, it didn't make sense to bring in just trains full of nothing or of all the different stuff and then kind of sort them out. Why are you still? Oh, there. And so I set up one for each of the different ore types and the coal line because we were running out of power and I needed to get some coal coming through here. And if you look at the overall map, you can see I've got train network kind of going down to our Givolite here, coal down here, and then Crotinium, Stereotite, Bobmonium, and Rubite here. The Bobmonia or the Rubite, we need to probably need to move up to this bigger patch here, and we also need to start looking at getting some of the acids made for, you can see here this entire sapphirite line that we had set up before was completely depleted, and so we'll need to start looking at putting on trains that have like a barrel, a tanker rather car that will allow us to offload the, what is it for this one? Sulfuric acid here. It is sulfuric acid there as well. Nitric acid, I think, for the Rubite. Hydrochloric for that. I'm not sure about coal. If coal, I think coal just works infinitely. Yeah. So with these infinite coal patches, we won't have to worry about acid, I don't think. I'm not sure. But then hydrofluoric for the Givolite. So basically, I think, is it nitric for here? No, sulfuric acid for stereotite too. So sulfuric acid for Bobmonium, sapphirite, and stereotite. Hydrochloric for the this, and hydrofluoric for the Givolite. So we'll have to start looking at getting that going. But what I changed up our thing here quite a bit, and it took me hours and hours to do. But basically, we've got our Rainbow Road moving, which has all of our ores coming through. And I moved our crushing over to this big area here because if you look, the size of the flotation stuff is just enormous. And I'm not even done with it yet. However, I do have the Bobmonium, the Rubite, and the Givolite making some of this stuff now. Why aren't you working? I can't look in and see. Oh, it's not getting... It's not getting enough water? I don't see why not. Oh, because I didn't bronze the pipe up here. Alright, that's something we can fix. So I was able to get some aluminum and some brass going, just kind of piecemeal. You can actually see that over here. Here's kind of our aluminum setup where I just had some Rubite going through. I've stopped production because you can make a better one with Rubite chunks and Givolite chunks. And then over here somewhere, I think we'd already done the bronze. Oh no, the bronze was here, and then the brass we had set up over here for a little bit of brass. So shouldn't be a problem. I think it's a bronze pipe that we need. And you can see I've got tons of this stuff. I mean, this is thousands of belt. And I could have captured it on camera, but like I said, it would have been probably 30 episodes. There we go. Now you should start producing stuff. There we go, yeah. Actually, while I'm here, let's snag some gibbelite chunks. Maybe snag some more rubite chunks. I'm going to go and put that in here. Now, my next kind of thing is, I'm not sure, but I need to finish off these guys. And I need to find a way to transport these chunks over to our sorting facility, or move our sorting facility up here and then transport the ores. I'm not entirely sure how I want to do that. I could theoretically use the same train stops to offload the ores coming this way, and use filter inserters to offload them on this side instead of this side and move them this way. That may not be a terrible idea, but I haven't decided yet, because we also need to change up where our, or how we do our, oh, it's right here is what I want. So we've got this, and we've got these guys, and these guys. Let's use a bigger chest. That's pretty equal deal there. Oh, and it needs mineral catalysts, which I have been making a few of these. I just repurposed our slag processing deal down there to make those mineral catalysts. Down here. Change it up just slightly because we weren't utilizing enough of this stuff. In fact, we've already filled this box up. So let's snag all those. And you can see how little we're actually affecting that stuff. But yeah, so quite a lot of work gone in. I know you guys didn't get to see it, but a lot of it was just tedium of placing things, building the stuff in Pocket or somewhere so that we could get this giant monstrosity put down over here. And I'm still working on it. I've set up, oops, kind of a little bootstrap factory for making the water treatment plants and the flotation cells that I needed. Right over this way where the steel is. I don't think we need to move our this. This seems to be good because we can expand them out this way, and then we've got the lines coming down. I think that's fine. Right here you can see we were making some hydro plants. We're missing pretty much everything now, right? Yep. Need some of those, need some of that. Oops. The question is, how many more of these things do we need? I don't want to over produce. So the water purification for these things is redonkulous. Basically, we have 9 of these water treatment plants, and it's more than a single pump at 1200 water per second can do. So I put in these pumps that are boring water out of the ground, just to make things a little bit simpler, a little bit cleaner. Let's see, this one needs 8 more, this needs 7 more, that's 15. So 15 more water plants, 5, 10, 14 more of these clarifiers. Alright, so 2 more water pumps. Actually, have any? 13, 14. Yeah, one more. There we go, and then we can set it to do clarifiers. There. I need a bit more stone brick for our clarifiers. But yeah, it's taken a long time to get all that stuff going. You can see pretty much all of my other sorting and stuff is on hold. Like nothing is happening here. Which is fine because we built up a huge stockpile previously of some of the ores and stuff. So that's not an issue. We need how many of these? Like 14 of them, I think I said. So, yeah, so this is kind of the mess, all right? And I've got to kind of plan this out a little bit better than we did. Initially, the way that we planned it out, perfect, works fine, helped us get to where we're at, to where we can get our main bus going, get a lot of that stuff done. But now we've got to kind of rethink it because as we tech up and as we do things, this becomes a little bit more complicated and we don't really have room to expand on this. And so I'd like to build a setup where we can expand it. And I think the way that we're going to do that is we're going to kind of turn this counterclockwise. And what we'll do is, so instead of having the ores come up and down this way, we'll have the ores go across, and then these things can build downwards. And so we can add on more of these systems and setups as need be, right? Going across, and then we'll take the products of that and take them out and then feed them down into the ingots, rather, feed them down into these as need be. So what I may do is repurpose this area that we have right now as kind of an ingot storage, whereas we will bring our ingots down into this storage area and then reroute the ingots to our casting machines based on what we need those casting machines to do. And we'll probably, we'll continue to keep expanding the casting machines going up, but we might change up a little bit on the order of how things go based on our bus to help things kind of along in the way that they're going to be able to just come down and add to the bus in the proper orders instead of some of the kind of craziness that we have going here. We've done actually pretty good with it. You can see everything's feeding out and then going down, feeding out, going down. We have one kind of squirrely deal here with the solder, but yeah, it's not been too bad. So that's kind of my plans. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish, oops, probably have way too many clarifiers here now. Yep. But they're done. Okay. Let's grab the 4 that we need. We'll leave the 10 there. And we'll head over this way and get all these things up and going. Ran out of coal at one point. My entire power system stopped. You can see I expanded the power just a little bit, but we're still inching in on it. So I'm going to have to find a new power system here pretty soon too. I'd like to get into solar, but that again requires batteries, which is kind of one of the reasons I expanded all this stuff, is I want to make sure that we have something that is expandable and ready for future upgrades and technologies so that we can start doing some of the more interesting and higher tech stuff. We'll go ahead and throw all this in here. That's one other thing is I had set up a different way to see if I could bring the pumps in here. It just didn't work. Or rather, I got it to work, but it was really squirrely. There we go. Now this should... What do we need here? Oh, we need our stuff to come through. Do I not have? I do not. Ideally, these need to be red. Oh, and I do have stuff for red, so let's start making some of these red. Ideally, these would be red loaders. It's okay to have the yellow loaders coming in, but the red loaders, because we got red belts. I think I put the yellows up here just in the interim to facilitate these things starting working and getting some of those chunks built up. And there we go. These guys will start producing this. There we go. Now, right now I'm just clarifying off all of these sulfuric wastewater. I'm not sure what this one is going to be, but nitric wastewater. Basically all of the water types that we need for our infinite ore mining fluids is made by this process. And so I think what I'm going to do is right now I'm clarifying it off so that so that this functions. Let's just put you guys in here for now. I think I forgot to do that over here, did I? Yes, you can see we're kind of messed up because stone. Let's clear it out. No, we'll go like this. I'll just pick up this stone. And then what's the deal? Why aren't we? Oh, I bet I missed another pipe up here. I did. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. The other thing is I'm gonna again need to find a way to get rid of all this stone. Of which there is lots. This stuff I can kind of... There we go, get it out of my inventory. Whoops. Is that all my clarifiers and things? Yes, it is. With the aluminum plates, I built a salination plant, but for the life of me, I can't remember why I did that, so there's that. I think it had to do something with battery protection. Maybe. I don't remember. I could have swore it had something to do with needing saline water for something. Was it for making hydrogen and oxygen or something? separation. Oh, it was for this. Chlorine, hydrogen, sodium hydroxide. Yeah, I think it was for an easier way to set up so that we could make this to do the ferric chloride solution that we kind of have bootstrapped. But so now we've got all of these things functioning for the most part, and you can see here chloric wastewater, fluoric wastewater, nitric, sulfuric, and I believe this is sulfuric as well. Yeah. So what's interesting is that they create the wastewater of the acid that they need for the infinite ores. So I think what I'm going to do is bring this, instead of clarifying them off, I will bring them down, probably create the acid that they need, because I'm trying to remember, if we look at like sulfuric acid, it's sulfur dioxide gas and purified water. Sulfur dioxide gas is something that we can make from wastewater, if I remember correctly. Because we do it. Oh no, we make the sulfur. We can make sulfur out of the wastewater products. Yeah, right there. So fluoric wastewater purification makes whatever that thing is, makes what is that? Like salt water maybe? So the chloric might not be, yeah. But it basically makes the stuff you need to make the acid. So we use this method to turn it into materials we'll need to make the acid. We make the acid. We put the acid. I think what I'll do is either put on these trains that are bringing in the ores, I'll either put another car on the back that has a tanker, and it will take that, since they're going to be going to the places that it needs anyways, we'll take that stuff to it and then be able to get those infinite ore things working on pretty good. That, or I'll just have separate trains that come in and maybe on the top side, although again I'm still not sure about what I want to do. So now that we've got all these things working, the other thing that we can look at doing is some of the geode stuff, or the gemstone stuff, because we're getting the byproduct of the washing, or of the flotation, is all of these geodes, of which we have millions. And so that's one of the themes that you kind of see here in Angels, is that you're constantly refining and refining, and you have all these waste products that you have to kind of deal with. The stone, the slag, the and then the geodes. You know, you've got to find ways to get rid of it so it doesn't bottleneck up your process, which I think is kind of cool. The idea for the other thing is that as you refine completely, if we look at this and we go all the way down to, what is it called? Thermal refining. Right now, crystals, do some of these ores and stuff. Right now, when we do, where's the next thing? Chemical refining. You see, we'll make these sapphire, these crystals afterwards, which requires, hey, look, the acids that we're getting the wastewater from. So eventually this stuff happens, but you can see here we're still producing slag, but a lot less of it when we do this sorting. And when we get all the way to the end with the thermal refining, we have no slag product. So eventually we get to the point where there's no slag waste, and we're just doing pure ores with all of the different refining techniques, right? This takes the crystals take the chunks, and so that's kind of what, and all of this is blue science. So that's why I want to get our blue science going, so we can learn this stuff and get to the point where we're actually just completely making everything without waste, which I think is fantastic. The only waste we're going to have, we can reuse the fluids to make the acids for the next part of the process. The only waste we're going to have is all this crushed stone, and of which there's none of it. Oh, it's in here. And so we can use the crushed stone to make all the slag, slurry, mineral things that make those mineral catalysts. So everything kind of eventually is used up and we don't have waste products. It'll be fantastic. But that's a little bit in time and coming, because the next thing we need to do is automate up some blue science so that we can get that. So that's my next real focus and goal, is getting to this blue science. Now, engines and bronze plates we talked about we can already do. The electronic circuit boards, we can kind of do. We've already got it kind of bootstrapped a little bit. Also note, don't run across train tracks while you're not paying attention, or else you could get run over by trains. And then the batteries are something that I think we can do right now. Sulfuric acid, plastic bars, lead plate. So we have lead plates already. The plastic we can get going. And I think what we'll do, since our chemical stuff is going to be over here, I think I want to use this area down here. Let's go ahead and make some extra space over here. I think what I want to do is make a plastic, because it's liquid plastic that gets turned into plastic bars, very similar to what we do here. Oh yeah? Okay. We still haven't used up all of our copper. We haven't needed to. And then we can kind of route the plastic up somewhere. I think right along here might not be bad, since we're not technically using this other line of tin. So we could throw our plastic along this line here and make that happen. Yeah. This goes nowhere. Because we did the solder there. So let's, we haven't really, well, dang it, we're almost out of time. All right. So electronic circuit boards, as you can see here, are not very difficult. I've done a little bit of jury rigging. The only thing that we really can't produce right here is this fluoric wastewater and the plastic. The plastic we're going to work on next episode, and I think what we can do here with the fluoric wastewater is we will take this section here. Let's get one of our pumps. We're gonna pump Mark II going here. We've got our salination plant. And what we can do is we're going to set this to water. We're going to go salination plant, which is huge. And we want saline water. And look at that. It's perfect ratio. A pump Mark II to one salination plant is the perfect ratio. So we go with our saline water here. Probably should have. We're going to need more room. Well, let's do this. I've got, I think, sufficient amount of these. We got 35 of them. What do you need? These? Nope. This needs plastic. Okay, so everything this we can get rid of. Let's go ahead and just pick all this stuff up with the magic of we need a box. Let's go ahead and put all of this stuff that we had in there. Some of this crap. Silicon wafers. Yeah. Some of this junk. Inventory's been kind of a pain in the butt, I'm not gonna lie. The silicon in there, that's fine. I don't know why we have nickel plate in our inventory. Alright, that looks... Oh, and all these phenolic boards. Looks pretty good. Throw that steel pipe in there, don't need it. Okay, so... let's get rid of this. All right. So what we can do, and I think we want to build backwards. Here's the joys of this. I also made a big radar. There's you, here we go. So it goes from salt water into one of these, into two of these, into chemical plant, the chemical plant, tank, and this is the barreling thing. So if we start with a tank that we don't have stone brick for, crap. Well, we're kind of out of time, so we can do all this in the next episode. Let's finish off one with a big reveal. Where do I want to go? Up. Thermal water. Nice. I don't know what that means. Sure. Well. Here. We'll go out to the west. I built a radar Mark III, and they're huge. Look at the side, the area that these things cover. Like, it's just enormous. So, I figured we'd come out here, expand some of our vision of our map. There's no biter bases to the southwest, so we'll go down there. There we go. I mean, look at the size of this thing. Look at that blue square. So eventually we're going to want to place these guys out and around. I think what I've decided to do is, so we use Mark IIs for our current kind of vision area. We'll mark 3 around that, and then when we get Mark IVs, looks like right here is going to be a good spot. We'll do Mark IVs around that, and so on. And so that will... Do I not have big electric poles? Oh. Well, I have these ones. What's the reach area? A little bit further? Sure. Start using bigger poles. Seriously? This can't reach to there? Here, I know it won't work. Ha. Bigger pole. Alright, and there we go. Now we can see all this stuff. So, we're expanding vision. Wow, we're on like there's like a big old river or lake right there. But yeah, we're out of time. Next time we will do a lot more building and stuff because we're going to figure out plastic. We're going to figure out the floric, or not the floric, what's it called? The ferric water stuff that we need for our circuits. We'll add it on to the end of our bus here. I may move our train station from here up to this bigger rubite patch because our bus is going to kind of go over that right there. So, and it looks like they're almost out, so we'll probably just wait for that to finish. But yeah, well, there's a lot of ore in that sucker right there. But yeah, that'll all be next time. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, tap on the like button. Helps me out and helps out the channel. And if you really enjoyed it, feel free to subscribe for more content. But until next time, I've been Shadowblade. You guys stay sharp.